All right, let's talk about something that's changing pretty much everything: artificial intelligence, specifically how it's showing up in project management. Because it's not some far off future concept anymore. Today, we're going to break down how AI is becoming the essential co pilot for project managers and how it turns those huge, complex challenges into some serious strategic advantages. Let's dive in. So, let's just get right to it. The big question, the one that's probably in the back of your mind. With all this talk about AI automating tasks, is the role of the project manager, going extinct? Well, the short answer is a big, resounding no. In fact, it's pretty much the opposite. As you can see here, the role isn't just surviving, it's actually becoming more critical than ever. So you're not being replaced. Think of it more like you're being upgraded. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll talk about what it means to have AI as your co-pilot. Then, we'll get into AI-powered planning and execution. After that, we'll look at how your role is going to change. And finally, we'll wrap up with what it takes to be a leader who's ready for all of this. Okay, first things first, we need to get one thing straight. AI is not a replacement, it's an augmentation. It's not here to fly the plane for you, it's here to be your co-pilot, to give you some amazing new superpowers. And to use those powers, you've got to understand the basic tools in your new AI toolkit. First up, we've got predictive analytics. This is basically like having a crystal ball, but instead of magic, it's powered by data. It chews through all your past and current project info to predict what's coming, flagging things like budget overruns or schedule delays way before they become full-blown emergencies. Next in the toolkit is pattern and anomaly detection. Think of this as your project's own early warning system. It's constantly sifting through mountains of data, looking for trends, and, this is the important part, finding the weird stuff, the outliers, those little data points that could signal a hidden risk, or maybe even a surprising opportunity. And finally, we have autonomous systems. This is really all about smart automation. These are the systems that can just handle all those repetitive tasks. Generating the weekly reports, scheduling a million meetings. They just get them done. This frees you up to do the actual strategic work. And remember, these aren't just abstract ideas. These are real, practical tools you can start using, like, right now. Now, let's see how these tools actually work in the real world, starting with the planning phase. We all know a project's success is pretty much decided right at the beginning, and this is where AI helps you build a much, much smarter foundation. Every PM knows this feeling, right? Identifying risks is absolutely crucial. But man, it's time-consuming, and let's be honest, it's never perfect. We rely on our gut and our experience, but we can still miss things. AI completely changes this game by analyzing huge data sets to find potential risks we might never even think to look for. And check out how simple this can be. You literally just give the AI your project plan and ask it to whip up a risk assessment. And it doesn't just give you a list. It breaks down the potential impact of each risk and even suggests ways to deal with them. That's hours, maybe even days of work, just done in minutes. And what about scheduling? Ugh. The more complex a project gets, with all the different teams, time zones, shared resources, the more it feels like you're trying to untangle a giant knot. Just creating a schedule that works for everyone without constant conflicts is a massive headache. And again, this is a puzzle you can just hand over to your AI co-pilot. You feed it the constraints, who's available when, what resources are shared, what the deadlines are, and it spits out an optimized schedule with zero conflicts. This is a total game changer for efficiency. Okay, so the plan is set. It's solid. Now it's time to actually do the thing. But AI's job isn't done, not even close. It stays right there with you on the job, giving you real-time intelligence to keep everything on track. Let's talk about money. Keeping a project on budget is one of the biggest, most stressful parts of a PM's job. And the stakes are incredibly high. A budget overrun isn't just a little problem for your project. It can create huge ripple effects across the entire company. Just how huge are we talking? Well, get this. Research shows that when a company has to publicly shut down a major project, its stock price drops by an average of 15%. That's the real-world cost of failure. It's exactly why managing costs effectively is non-negotiable. So how does AI help you stay in control and avoid that nightmare? With a simple prompt, just like this one. You give it a quick status update and you get an instant analysis. It crunches the numbers, tells you if you're over or under budget, and points out the biggest risks to your bottom line. This is data-driven decision-making, right when you need it. And then there's reporting. We all know it's vital for keeping stakeholders in the loop, but let's be real. It can be a repetitive, time-sucking task.
AI automates all the heavy lifting of putting these reports together so you can focus on strategy and communication instead of messing with charts and formatting.
With a simple request, you can turn a pile of raw data into a clean, polished executive summary. The AI pulls out the key wins, gives a snapshot of the budget, and flags any critical risks. You just have to review it, maybe tweak it a little, and hit send. It's the definition of working smarter, not harder. So this brings us to the most important question of all. If AI is handling all the data crunching and the admin tasks, what's actually left for the project manager to do? Well, the answer is simple: the most important work. Your value shifts to these incredibly important, uniquely human areas. You're the one providing governance and making sure these powerful tools are used ethically and effectively. You're handling the complex parts of risk management that need human judgment. You're the one fostering collaboration, bridging the gap between teams and technology. You lead change management, helping people adapt. You're still monitoring performance, but with a strategic eye. You're managing resources with wisdom, and you're building a culture of continuous learning. These are the skills AI can help with, but it can never, ever replace them. So let's bring this all home. What does it really mean to be a project manager in the age of AI? It means you get to become a future-ready, augmented leader. The fundamental shift is this: your role evolves from being a task manager to being a strategic innovator. You move away from just chasing down status updates and wrestling with spreadsheets, and you move toward leading teams, navigating real complexity, and delivering serious strategic value to your organization. By embracing AI as your co-pilot, you free yourself up to focus on what actually matters most. Your unique value is in balancing the raw technical power of AI with the human-centered leadership, the judgment, and the strategic vision that only you can provide. And that is how you're going to unlock the full potential of every single project you lead. And that leaves us with one last question for you. The tools are here, the opportunity is massive. So think about your biggest challenge, your biggest headache right now. With this new AI co-pilot by your side, what is the first strategic question you're going to ask it to solve?